Classification of materials based on electrical conductivity. Now, based on the electrical conductivity, there are three types of materials. First one is conductors. What is the electrical conductivity? So, conductivity, it is in terms of Siemens per meter. For a conductor, it will be in the order of 10 to the power 2 to 10 to the power 8 Siemens per meter. Now, what is the resistivity? Resistivity, you know that resistivity is the reciprocal of conductivity. So, it will be, the unit is ohm meter. The value will be in the range of 10 to the power minus 2 to 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter. This is the first category. See the conductivity. Conductivity is very large, in the order of 10 to the power 2 to 10 to the power 8. That is why it is called as a conductor. Now, another category is called insulators. These insulators will not allow any current through this material. So, the conductivity is very, very less because they don't allow any current through it. The conductivity of them will be in the order of 10 to the power minus 11 Siemens per meter to 10 to the power minus 19 Siemens per meter. And what is the resistivity? Resistivity is large. So 1 by conductivity, that is, it is in the order of 10 to the power plus 11 to 10 to the power plus 19 ohm meter. Now there are few substances whose electrical conductivity is between the conductors and insulators. Those are called semiconductors. Their electrical property is between the conductors and the insulators. Their electrical property, that is their conductivity, will be in the order of 10 to the power 5 to 10 to the power minus 6 Siemens per meter, and the reciprocal of conductivity, the resistivity, that is 10 to the power minus 5 to 10 to the power 6 ohm meter. Now we concentrate on the semiconductors. There are mainly three types of semiconductors. One is called elementary semiconductors. Elementary semiconductors. And the second one is compound semiconductors. Compound. Now there are three types of compound semiconductors. One is called inorganic semiconductors. Example is gallium arsenide, indium phosphide, etc. Gallium arsenide or indium phosphide, etc. This is an example for inorganic semiconductors. Now the second category is organic semiconductors. Organic semiconductors. The example is anthracene. Anthracene. This is an example. Now the third category is called organic polymers. Organic polymers. The example for this is polyaniline. The example for elementary semiconductors are silicon and germanium. Silicon and germanium. So this is the classification of semiconductors. We can explain the electrical conductivity of all the materials based on a diagram called energy level diagram. You know what is an energy level diagram? This is the diagram which shows the energy level of the electrons in an atom. Now you take an isolated atom. Let us say we take silicon or germanium itself. Silicon, the atomic number is 14. And what is the distribution of electrons? In the first orbit 2 electrons, in the second orbit 8 electrons, and in the last orbit there are 4 electrons. And these electrons are called valence electrons. because these are the electrons which are revolving around the nucleus in the outer orbit. So those are called valence electrons. Since the electrical property is completely decided by the valence electrons, we will not go to discuss about the inner electrons. So while we draw the energy level diagram, we draw the energy level diagram for only the outermost electrons, that is valence electrons. So in an isolated atom, this is energy level diagram. This is energy, and the height from here will tell you about the energy. Now, as far as the valence electrons are concerned, all the valence electrons will have almost the same energy, not exactly, almost the same energy. So their energy difference is very small, so that we can neglect. But in a silicon or germanium crystal, there are n number of atoms. So let us say this is one atom which consists of 4 valence electrons. We take only the valence electrons. This is another atom which is also having 4 valence electrons, and this is another atom which is having 4 valence electrons, and this is the fourth atom which is having again 4 valence electrons. So let us say there are n atoms. Now each atom consists of 4 valence electrons. So how many number of valence electrons will be there? Each atom consists of 4 valence electrons. So valence electrons are 4 into n. So when there are a system of atoms, the energy level diagram will completely change. How the energy level diagram will completely change? See here, you take one electron for that matter, this electron. The electron is having a certain potential energy. What is the potential energy of this electron? See, you know that the potential energy of an electron will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r, where r is the distance between the two charges q1 and q2. Say here, there are so many number of electrons. What is the potential energy of this electron? See here, the distance between these two is different from the distance between these two, which is different from the distance between these two, and here also the distance is different, here also distance is different. Therefore, what happens is the potential energy of each electron will be different. Therefore, the energy level diagram becomes this. So each electron will have its own energy. I am considering only the valence electrons. So this is the energy of one electron, this is the energy of the second electron, this is the energy of the third electron, this is the energy of the fourth electron, fifth electron, sixth electrons, like that. It will be how many? 4n electrons. So these are the energies of 4n electrons. Now, as far as silicon is concerned, in the third orbit, there are 4 valence electrons in the third orbit. So this is the 4 valence electrons. How these are redistributed? These are redistributed as 3s2 and 3p2. So totally, therefore, there are 4 valence electrons. This 4 valence electrons. But how many electrons required to complete the subshell? There is 3s2 and 3p6. So totally, in an atom, there are still 4 electrons required. Still 4 electrons are required. Okay. Now, if there are n atoms, so there are how many electrons are required? 4n electrons. Here, there are 4 energy levels are occupied by 4 valence electrons. So in n atoms, there are 4n energy levels are occupied, and remaining 4n energy levels in n atoms, they are not at all occupied. Depending on the spacing between the atoms, these occupied electrons energy level and unoccupied or vacant energy levels split apart and become one more band. So here again one more band of 4n energy levels will be created, This is again of 4n unfilled energy levels. These are 4n filled energy levels. And this band is called valence band, where there are these electrons. So these are the valence electrons, where you find these electrons. These electrons will not be there here, and these are vacant, and this band is called conduction band. This is called as conduction band, in short CB, valence band, in short VB. And the difference of the energies between the valence and conduction band, it is called forbidden energy gap. It is represented as Eg and expressed in terms of electron volt. So this is the energy level diagram of a system of atoms. Now we'll see the energy level diagram of conductors. Okay. Now here, what is the importance of this forbidden energy gap? See, if the conductivity to occur, the electrons should move from one place to the other place. But in the valence orbit, electrons cannot move from one place to the other place. They have to move out of the semiconductor. Then only there will be electrical conductivity. So now, normally the electrons, let us say the electrons are here, represent here. The electrons should go from the valence band to the conduction band. Once they go from the valence band to the conduction band, they are free. Once they are free, they can be attracted by the positive of the battery. Then that is how the conductivity occurs. So this is the importance of this forbidden energy gap. Now, in the case of conductors, you take, already the electrons are free, and those are called as free electrons. Now, what about the valence and conduction band? They are overlap, because already the electrons are in the conduction band. So let us say, if this is the valence band, and the conduction band will be this. This is the conduction band. So valence band and conduction band are overlap. See here, this one. So this is the overlapping of valence and conduction band. So the electrons are already in the conduction band, and those electrons are called as free electrons. Now, depending on the degree of overlap, the conductors will have different resistance. See, if the degree of overlap is more, there are more conductors in more electrons in the conduction band. So if the degree of overlap is lesser, so let us say like this here, this is one case. Another case, if you take, this is the valence band, and this is the conduction band. Okay, now here see, the degree of overlap is only this much. So there are very few electrons in the conduction band. So this is the conduction band. Very few electrons are in the conduction band. Now here, if the electrons are less in the conduction band, less conductivity. So therefore, the resistivity will be more. Now what is the energy level diagram of insulators? Now you know that these insulators will not allow any current to flow through them. So normally the electrons are in the valence band. How much ever we apply the energy, the electrical conductivity is not at all there theoretically. Therefore, whatever the energy level or forbidden energy gap, the forbidden energy gap is very large. Say this is the conduction band, and again this is the valence band. See, there will be very large forbidden energy gap between the valence and the conduction band. What do you mean by forbidden energy gap? The energy difference between the conduction band and the valence band. So if the energy, forbidden energy is greater than or equal to 3 electron volt, then those type of materials are called as insulators. And it is not at all possible for the electrons which are in the valence band to go to the conduction. Now coming to the last one, that is called semiconductors. Now you know that the electrical property or the electrical conductivity will be between the conductors and insulators. Therefore, the forbidden energy gap will be less than 3 electron volt. Say, let us say this is the valence band. This is VB, valence band. And the forbidden energy gap is less than 3 electron volt. So let us say this is the conduction band, hence. This is the conduction band. And the forbidden energy gap will be less than 3 electron volt. So if the electrons which are in the conduction valence band acquires sufficient energy, these electrons will go to the conduction band and there will be conductivity. So this is the explanation of the energy level diagram, that is the conductivity of the conductors, insulators and the semiconductors.